Okay, it is late fall and we're heading out to the gasoline storage shed, which I've been working on. I haven't done any work on it since spring. I've been too busy with other things. Up until now, of course. Excuse me. And we're going to start constructing the roof on this little building right here. As you can see it coming up. I already hauled the aluminum roofing over. And our next task is to be cutting small poles like this one right here, right there, which we hauled in last winter. And we got, as you can see, we got a lot of small dead stuff standing in the vicinity, plus I guess you would say the yard proper. But there's our little, it's kind of a square almost, it's like 6x7. I pressed the wrong button. Anyway, we're going to be cutting roof poles today, like I said. I don't know how many we're going to need. I haven't decided that yet. It depends on, I guess, how many I can find in the close nearby area. I don't want to really travel too far just to cut these little poles. So we're going to go out and find as many as we can and peel them and then just figure out from there. I think what I'll probably do is try to use my my bar mill that I built to cut 1x6s or something like that, to use as stringers to run crossways from the poles, because the poles are going to be going from, you know, the peak. Let me steer that around, from the peak to the eave. And maybe it'll work better if I use less poles and more stringers. I don't know yet. We're just going to play it by ear. So let's go get the chainsaw and cut down some of these little bitty dead trees that are around here. So let's get going. Okay, my first pole, it's up by the gasoline shed. It's way too long yet. I'm going to figure out how long it needs to be by setting it up on the roof there to see how much overhang I want. I'm going to want at least 2 feet, I think. But the excess wood will become firewood or something else. I will note to you, just in case you are concerned, I'm only cutting down dead trees because there are plenty of those and I don't have to kill a living tree to do this. Plus it makes, let me get over this little hump here. Plus it makes carrying them a lot easier too, because they're a lot lighter. But the spruce bark beetles, when they came through, all these trees were killed by spruce bark beetles. And there's tons and tons and tons of dead seasoned wood here that I have to use up. So, like I said, if you're concerned, I am not killing any trees. The beetles did that. Not the Fab Four, the other beetles. Okay, here we are at the workbench. 2 of my boards I ripped yesterday. Right here, on top of one of the boards, I have this BCI secured down with screws. I adjusted it so that what I'm going to do is I need to have finished edges on these. So I'm going to run my circular saw along the edge. I measured in 1 3/4 inch basically. I'm going to run that along. That's going to give me a straight edge. Then after I get a straight edge on all 5 of my boards, I'm going to put it on my bench saw. And if you don't know what a bench saw is, it's a small version of a table saw, which you put on a bench. And we're going to rip the other side. We're going to use this straight side that I'm going to cut as the guide along the fence and run the other side of the board off on the blade, and that should give me basically a finished board. Okay, I'm yelling over the big generator because I don't want to shut it off. You can see our boards all have one straight edge on them now. We're going to use this up against the fence on the table saw to cut this side and give us basically a finished board, with the exception of the ends, which I will do on the chop saw. Okay, I just got done carrying over the boards I just got done making, chainsaw and other things, and what we're going to do now is we're going to start notching the ridge or the roof poles to accept the boards that I made. I don't want them sitting above too high, so I'm going to cut notches in them so they fit more flush. They don't have to be exact, but I do want them to be a little bit more flush. Then when we get that done, we're going to start affixing both the stringers and the roof poles right behind me to the top of the roof. Okay, here you can see 4 of my roof poles. That's as many as I can do at one time because of the length of the bar. On my chainsaw, I have them all secured together with a scrap piece of lumber so that they won't roll as I'm notching them. That'll make things go a bit easier, I'm thinking and hoping. Hey guys, I got some very tragic news in the audio video department. 3 or 4 of the clips of me actually assembling the roof, putting the plastic on and the tin didn't work out. The video is very herky-jerky. I can't get it to straighten out regardless of what program I use. I tried getting rid of the audio and doing an overdub. That didn't work either. I've been working on it for a couple days when I get the chance, and it's just not working out. So the only thing I can do is reshoot the end and just give you an explanation of what I did, because the only way I can really reshoot the video is to take the roof off, and I'm not taking that roof off. It was too much of a pain in the butt putting it up to begin with all the ladder work and everything. So it's just going to be an explanation. I apologize for that. I'm going to try to figure out how to keep that from happening in the future. I guess what I'm going to have to do is to just look at all my video before I get done shooting like a segment, just to make sure the video worked out instead of just taking it for granted. But anyway, been rambling too long. Here's the explanation, then we close up the video, blah blah blah. Sorry about that anyway. Bye. Okay, now to do the roof, because the video for the roof did the same exact thing, I put my first roof log up along with a stringer and secured it with, and you can't see the screw, but there's a screw that runs from here all the way down through into the log, and that secured the first roof log and my stringer to the roof so it wouldn't fall. It basically acted as a pivot point. I then went down to the other end of the roof. You can see down there I lined up my my stringer and secured it, and then I was just able to basically shove all of my roof logs underneath the stringer. The pressure from the stringer secured them in place. I screwed everything down with deck screws, and I used a couple additional of the timber lock screws that I used to secure the very end, and it came out really well. I was able to, now since all of these roof logs were free to pivot, I was able to place them where I wanted, you know, down here, and then secure them with screws. I did the same thing with my stringer on the bottom as well. It worked out really well. I just wish the original video had worked. I'm hoping this does. I'm going to have to obviously preview it before I try to put it into a video, but I guess that's just the way it goes. I'm going to have to figure out just a different way of doing this so that I don't go on to step 2 before I know step 1's going to work out. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry, but technology is a great thing when it works, but when it doesn't, it sucks. Okay, that's it for part 2. It's functioning. No walls yet, but we're going to work on that. That's going to be part 3, but that's going to be kind of a as we get a chance to do it kind of thing. We're not going to dedicate a lot of time to it. It's up and functioning now, and if we get snow and the snow looks like it's going to drift in, I'll just put a tarp around it for now. That can't go wrong with the tarp, right? Anyway, I hope you found this interesting, a little bit entertaining. If you leave a comment, please be nice. This world's too angry as it is and too snarky and everything. So just say something nice or don't say nothing at all. That's what my grandmother told me. Anyway, I gotta go because there is a storm coming.